Right, look, before we get into WWE Worlds Collide, you've got to remember how this was built. So if you're into stories, you're into angles and things like that, you need to take that little nugget of information and throw it into the corner, because this was basically like an exhibition contest. I know they had done some narrative-driven stuff, but let's not pretend otherwise. This was about in-ring action and trying to kill other people in the squared circle. My name is Simon Miller. Happy Royal Rumble Sunday. That's right, I just did a little jig, and to get you in the mood for a match that sees 30 men and 30 women trying to throw each other over the top rope, here's Ups and Downs for World Collide. That didn't link up at all. What you gonna do, brother? Let's up those downs. So yeah, when you are talking about good old-fashioned in-ring pro wrestling, you're not going to get much better when you see those three letters NXT on the marquee, and that's why even in the pre-show, Mia Yim versus Kaylee Ray is getting it up. And that's it, it was just fine, it was a well-thought-out contest. Mia Yim had a little bit of stuff, Kaylee Ray had a little bit of stuff. Also, during this match, I realized I needed to add a fourth most devastating move in all of sports entertainment to my list, and you will know about this if you keep up to date with Ups and Downs. But the new number 4 is now officially the Suicide Dive, which we did see here, and well, a lot during Worlds Collide. And if you do want the whole list, I will catch you up to speed. Number 1 is the surprise roll-up, number 2 is getting hit in the balls, and number 3 is the Canadian Destroyer, and our number 4, dive in. And this all came together in a wonderful moment of wrestling math, because Mia Yim then hit move number 3, that being the Canadian Destroyer, but Kaylee Ray had been listening to me, clearly went, aha, well I'll get you with move number 1, and she reversed the pin, so it's like a surprise roll-up. She held the tights because she's a dastardly heel, and she got the 1, 2, 3. And I would say that she retained her UK title, but she didn't, because it wasn't on the line to begin with. If a tree falls in a wood and nobody hears it, does it even make a sound? And yeah, this was just a very fun match for the sake of having a very fun match, and there's nothing wrong with that. We also had some promotion for the upcoming DIY versus Mustache Mountain next later, and boy, just wait till we talk about that. And Sam Roberts also said that the coming together of NXT and NXT UK is a bit like the Marvel Universe. Rein it back in there, my friend. Rein it back in. Finn Balor was then out to start the show properly, and who the hell said he was a heel? This crowd treated him like he was the biggest star they'd ever seen in their damn lives. And of course, he was taken on, I can never pronounce his first name, Dragunov. And on paper, everyone was like, I think this could be one of the best fights we see in 2020. And yeah, it was really, really good. Maybe not at the level some were saying, but I still thought they lit the place up. So therefore, give it up. And now, to be fair, Balor is far more aggressive these days than he was when he was on Raw or SmackDown, and fair play to the commentators for doubling down on that. They kept saying, oh, look at this Finn Balor and his new angry ways. I liked it, and also you could just see from afar he was in control of this, and I just found that quite fascinating. When he wanted it to go fast, he sped it up. When he wanted it to slow it down, he went slow. When he wanted to go in the middle, he did stuff in the middle. He was the captain of the ship. Dragunov also smashed Balor at one point with a lariat that I actually thought was going to take his head off, and man, did the crowd not like that. They just booed the Russian guy as if he was a piece of crap as he just growled into the camera. Like me. That was enough to have these guys trade off with some pretty stiff shots, and when Dragunov got the upper hand and hit like a pump-handled German suplex thing, he got a super close near 2 count, and everyone thought, oh my gosh, Finn Balor has lost. But he haven't. That's because Finn Balor was never going to lose, and when he was in control, he hit the double foot stomp, he hit the 1916 DDT, and he put this one to bed. And I don't think this did any harm to anybody. Finn Balor is still the king, or the prince, I should say, and if you didn't know who Dragunov was before this, you may go, oh, I should keep an eye on this chap and tune in to NXT UK. And that's what this pay-per-view was, basically. Pay-per-view, whatever you want to call it. It's like a big advert for everything that WWE's got going on in their ranks. And then we then got a huge surprise, or at least I thought it was a huge surprise, because in my head, Angel Garza has only really just won the NXT Cruiserweight Championship. And really, if I was booking it, I would have had him held it for longer, because he kind of feels like he's developing into a star. But we did not do that. There was a title change, and it's getting it up. And that is mostly because of what Garza, Travis Banks, Jordan Devlin, and Isaiah Scott did here. They just went absolutely bonkers. I mean, it was athletic, it was impressive, sometimes it was absolutely dangerous, But I don't think, if anyone wants to criticize this, and you're allowed to do whatever you want, you're a human being, you can spout your opinions all over the internet, and that's all okay. But just from the sheer effort alone, I would never be that guy. And I admit to you, right now, yes, even though Jordan Devlin won, I was like, well, he deserves it, he's really good, and he hasn't got his due so far. I still would have kept the belt on Garza, because I thought you could have built to this better. But let's take it, again, let's chuck it over there, and remember what we had just seen. And of course, this kind of thing is always going to upset a few, because, yeah, there wasn't much selling, and it was move, 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 move. But as a man who woke up on a Sunday morning and put on a wrestling show, well, it took me aback to say the least. And like I say, it was scary at some points too, and I don't even know if I'm going to be able to explain this properly. But basically, Garza had Travis Banks and Jordan Devlin up in the air, almost in like a powerbomb position. So yes, he had two people in the sky, and then Isaiah Scott climbed to the top ropes and he hit a double foot stomp onto Travis Banks. It was just nuts. There was loads of noise from the crowd, as there was, when Devlin kind of skinned the cat over the ring, but he also did it over an opponent and then popped back in the ring and did a tornado DDT to somebody else. I will never be able to do that. It was Devlin's night though, as we've already said, and after he headbutted Garza out the way, he hit that Devlin slide thing onto Isaiah Scott, and he got the 1, 2, 3, and he is now the NXT Cruiserweight Champion. So you have to ask the question, well, is that belt going to the UK? Is Devlin going to go to 205 Live? Is he going to go to NXT USA? The cool thing about the change, despite my other reservations that I've already talked about, is that it does open a lot of opportunities for Jordan. And I think, as I've already said, and I'll say it again, he deserves it. And I will mention it just so that it's been mentioned. There was probably around about 468 dives here, but we already added that in to number 4. Remember, we've done the wrestling math, the wrestling list. Number 4, dives. And then it was DIY versus the Mountain made of mustaches. I mean, what else am I meant to do? This would have been popular anyway, because obviously Ciampa and Gargano were coming back together, but also everybody loves Tyler Bate and Trent Seven, so there was no way it wasn't just going to resonate with thousands and millions of people across the world. The interesting thing is that I think all 4 guys got together beforehand and went, look, we got to follow the absolute car crash that just aired live on television. We need to start things slow and then build, like they were playing Jenga or something. And I think that worked, because the first 5 minutes just like hoo-ha-ha, comedy, respect. They barely did anything. But they were getting you prepared, because, for example, when they were ready to pull the trigger, Ciampa got Tyler Bate, he threw him into the announce table, and then Gargano and Tommaso sat on the apron and did that stupid taunt thing they used to do. The crowd lost their minds like The Rock had just arrived. That's when they felt like enough time had passed and everybody started to hit their big moves. And this was the kind of tag team action you love to see. Tyler Bate was able to get the best of all of this when he hit the Tyler Driver, and then Mustache Mountain hit their burning hammer knee move thingy. I have no idea what it's called. And they also got a damn near 2 count. And you could probably argue that was the finish, because that maneuver looks like it would kill a man. I mean, that's like me shooting someone with a gun and then just brushing it off, and everyone's like, wait a minute, you got shot with a gun. How did you brush off a bullet? But that is what Tommaso and Johnny did. They then hit the meat in the middle, and of course, DIY won. They got back together, everybody loves them. It was always going to go this way. This is one of the best tag matches I have seen in ages though, and only, please, for the love of everything, can you allow the teams on Raw and SmackDown to do this kind of stuff too. I know they can do it, you just got to give them the opportunity. And we got a bit of an angle after that as well, because Dakota Kai was sat in the crowd and she was attacked by Tegan Nox, and the fans loved it. They chanted, let them fight, please, let them fight. But obviously security broke them up. And I don't think, you know how NXT loves to do the thing, oh, look who we've got in the crowd. This is me being the cameraman. I don't think during one of those anyone has ever been attacked. This felt fresh, it felt new, and it allows that feud to continue. 2 thumbs up, but not an actual up, just thumbs up. And up next was a match that I was looking forward to almost as much as anything else on the card. It was Rhea Ripley defending her championship against Toni Storm, but it just felt like they had been told, I'm really sorry, we've run a bit long, we're gonna have to cut your match right down to 10 minutes, and you're not really gonna be able to do anything. Also, you need to sprint through this like you're in the 100 meters. I didn't think that was very nice. It just didn't feel like anything else on the card. It's getting it down. And that's not their fault at all. It's just the nature of the beast, and it's the nature of live television. But because of that, like I say, they weren't able to get to any kind of a crescendo, and the fans just sat there, as they would have done, because it didn't compare to everything else that they have seen. And we know that Toni Storm and Rhea Ripley can absolutely tear the place up. We've already seen it in the past. Get in your DeLoreans. They were able to work a story in here at the very least because Toni Storm was selling her midsection the entire match, so when she went for a frog splash and missed, Ripley hit her with the Riptide, and that was the end of old Toni, and Ripley retains her championship. And the other issue here is that you just knew that Rhea Ripley was going to win. I mean, Bianca Belair was there looking at her going, I'm coming for your title, I'm coming for your gold. She's not a pirate. I don't know why I said it like that, and that kind of took away some of the believability as well. Still, they did what they could. Finn Balor then whooped Johnny Gargano's ass backstage, and that made me chuckle because earlier on he was treated like, the returning hero, and he was like, no, I am still an absolute dick, and I really don't like Johnny Gargano. And he was saved thanks to Mustache Mountain. But set your calendars for when this takeover show rolls around, because that bout is going to be fire. It was the main event time as Imperium took on the Undisputed Era, and unfortunately a very dark cloud hung over this because of an injury that happened in the first few minutes. But still, it's getting it up. Basically, early on, Alexander Wolf got nailed in the head with a knee by Bobby Fish, and it knocked him the hell out, and it knocked him out so badly, you saw his body go stiff. It was just horrible to watch. It was horrible to watch. I hope he's okay. He's come out afterwards on Twitter, said that everything is fine, and he is going to be all right. Thank goodness for that. But you never want to witness anything like this. Well, in pro wrestling, you don't want to see it. And fair play to the referee involved for dealing with it how he did, because not only did he feign a kick out, there was no way Alexander Wolf was kicking out of anything, but the way he then, pushed everybody away and set this up, it kind of added a bit of drama to it because it felt like an MMA fight. But forget about that. Story, narrative, whatever you want to call it, doesn't matter. Alexander Wolf is okay, but this did make the rest of it, you're like, well, it's now going to be 4-on-3 in Undisputed Era's favor. What can you do? However, this still was a lot of fun, mostly because it turned into Walter versus everybody else. I mean, he was brawling with everybody that would get in his face, and the fans had accepted that too, and they had gone, you know what, we're just going to chill for this man. And he was doing all right as well, until unfortunately, he went up against Roderick Strong, because Roderick went, I know how I can take you down. I will angle slam or Olympic slam you through the announce table. Ha ha. You're now on your ass. Do you know how he got back involved too? After being down for ages, he rose from the depths like he was Jaws or something like that. He climbed to the top rope and he smashed out a big splash. Adam Cole then broke it up with a last shot to the back of Walter's head, and that's when I started to go, man, even with everything else that I've already seen, this is really enjoyable. But there was only one person that should have won this, or at least should have been the person that got the visual pinfall, and that was Walter. He did that crazy drop kick he did to Bobby Fish, and then he powerbombed his ass. He got the 1, 2, 3, and yeah, despite his team being a man down, Walter stood tall. William Regal even teased, well, I've got a big match for you, Adam Cole, and if it's not Adam Cole versus Walter, I am going to find a table and flip it, and then go on the internet and complain, because that's what we do in 2019. Which brought us to the end of Worlds Collide, and as I said at the start of the video, it was just nice and easy. Would you like to see some good matches between people you haven't seen fight before? The answer was yes, they all delivered, aside from what we've already talked about. Overall, Arrow, give it an up. Thanks. Now, don't forget to leave a comment below and let us know what you thought about Worlds Collide. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to What Culture Wrestling. Head over to whatculture.com, there's articles there, a lot of which are about the Royal Rumble. Follow What Culture on Twitter, What Culture WWE, that will keep you up to date with all the wrestling news. Watch more videos here on What Culture Wrestling. My name is Simon from What Culture, thank you very much for watching me, and again, tomorrow at the same time, 2 p.m. GMT, it's up those downs for the Royal Rumble. I'm excited, I'm scared, I'm fearful, I'm happy, I'm all the emotions rolled into one.